Milwaukee is owned by a Hong Kong corporation. 92% of Craftsman power tools are built overseas. Real professionals stopped buying American-made tools years ago, but you're still paying the premium. How that happened is a story of corporate betrayal. In the decades after World War II, American tool factories ran day and night, stamping out wrenches, drills, and pliers that became symbols of national pride. Milwaukee Tool, founded in 1924, helped fuel a manufacturing surge that saw U.S. tool output triple in less than a generation. By the 1970s, the American-made label stood for something real, a promise of quality, jobs, and a fair deal for anyone willing to pay a little more. That trust wasn't just folklore. A 62% majority in a consumer poll from the 1980s said they would pay a premium, sometimes $50, sometimes $200 or more, just to get tools stamped made in USA. Hardware aisles were lined with red, white, and blue packaging, feeding a sense of pride and fueling the belief that buying American meant supporting workers at home. But as the price tags climbed, so did a quiet question. Was that extra money actually going back into American hands? Or was something else happening behind the scenes? Milwaukee Tool, once the pride of Wisconsin, now answers to Tektronic Industries, a Hong Kong conglomerate that quietly took control in 2005. The red cases still say Milwaukee, but the real boss is David Liu, the TTI executive who steers the brand from Asia. That patriotic packaging in the hardware aisle? It's a smokescreen. The same parent company owns Ryobi and even produces Craftsman power tools under license for Stanley Black & Decker. In 2021, TTI finalized new deals that deepened its grip, making it clear. The American image is just that, an image. The money flows east, not into the hands of U.S. workers. Even as Milwaukee ramps up U.S. assembly lines for PR, the bulk of its cordless drills, batteries, and motors ship in from China and Mexico. Shoppers still pay a premium, thinking they're supporting American jobs. In reality, the flag on the box is worth more than the tool inside. Craftsman once stood for American reliability, a household name since 1927 and the pride of Sears. That image shattered in 2017 when Sears sold the brand to Stanley Black & Decker for $900 million. At the time, Stanley promised a revival, but the numbers tell a different story. Today, 92% of Craftsman tools are made overseas, mostly in China and Taiwan, despite packaging that leans heavily on red, white, and blue. The familiar script logo still sits on store shelves, but the substance behind it has vanished. Linda Patel from the National Association of Manufacturers puts it bluntly, consumers are paying a premium for a story, not for American jobs. The old guarantee, buy Craftsman, support your neighbor, has become a marketing device, not a real connection to U.S. workers. For every dollar spent, only pennies trickle back into American paychecks. The betrayal is personal, not just economic. The promise was broken, and the cost lands on families who once built their lives around these factories. John L. Smith spent his whole life at the Vise-Grip plant in DeWalt, Nebraska. In 2008, the factory's gates slammed shut for good, and 300 jobs disappeared overnight. That was more than half the town's population, gone, with nothing to replace them. The machines that once forged America's most trusted locking pliers were auctioned off for $2.1 million, a bargain for buyers, a gut punch for families left behind. The Vise-Grip name didn't die, but the promise of its grip did. Consumer Reports scored Nebraska-made models at 88 for durability. The new imports from China dropped to 75. The steel felt thinner, the jaws wore out faster, and the pride was gone. For DeWalt, the loss wasn't just economic, it was personal. Federal rules are supposed to protect buyers from phony patriotism, but the loophole is wide enough to drive a truck through. The FTC's official standard says a tool can only be called Made in USA if all or nearly all of it is American, parts, labor, and cost. In reality, brands skirt this with phrases like Made in USA with global materials. Take DeWalt's flagship drill. 78% of its components come from China, but the box is plastered with stars and stripes. That's all legal under the FTC's 2022 guidance, as long as final assembly happens on US soil. The result? A $120 price gap between this drill and an identical import, with buyers paying extra for a label that means almost nothing. The game is rigged, and the only winners are the marketers. Detroit shop invoices show Milwaukee commanding 42% of pro cordless tool sales, while in Seattle, Makita claims 30%. The numbers don't follow the flag, they follow performance. Nationwide, Milwaukee and Makita outsell brands that lean hardest on red, white, and blue packaging. Snap-on, the name most tied to American pride, charges up to $180 more for a cordless impact wrench that's 80% made overseas. In torque tests, Snap-on's tool falls within 5% of Milwaukee's, but at double the price. Tom Whitaker, an auto tech in Dearborn, spells it out. I buy what works, not what the box says. Today, the American label costs you $50 to $200 more, while the tool itself is likely foreign made. Pros know the scam. The only thing truly made here is the illusion.